You know, there really is seriously nothing better than an amazing glazed donut. Donuts are my biggest weakness personally, and I know a lot of you guys out there are pretty much the same. I know I should never talk with my mouth full. My daughter would be on me right now, let me tell you. But there's something that I really hate about eating donuts is the after effect, okay? I'm talking about the sluggish feeling afterwards. 30 minutes later when your blood sugar, starts to go through the roof, your serotonin levels go up, and all you want to do is take a nap, you know what I'm saying? Plus, eating too many donuts, man, it's going to give that little spare tire a little bit of extra fluff. And nobody wants to be known as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, you know what I'm saying? But there is a healthier alternative. Now, like vaping is to cigarettes, vaping is the healthier alternative. We're talking about a difference between 5 to 5,000 ingredients once a cigarette has finally been finalized for the process and the purpose of retail. I'm talking about all of the preservatives and all the added other crap that goes into those things. So cigarettes, about a good 5,000 ingredients. Vaping, e-juice, typically about 5. It's only a difference of about 4,995 ingredients. I mean, we can make do without, I think. And as far as the donuts are concerned, those should be an every now and then treat. But there's a way that I can literally have my cake and eat it too. And I'm talking about all the different kinds of variety of donut flavored vapes out on the market. There's a ton of these guys. And from what I've come to understand, the vaping e-juice sort of kind of goes through like these little cultural events where sometimes you have the tobaccos, then the menthols, then the fruits, and then the desserts and everything like that. And sometimes they'll go through little spots. But as you know as well as I do, history always repeats itself eventually, and really good flavors never go out of style. So I have come across a really solid flavor called Kremey Klouds. Tell me that that isn't fetching and eye-catching, you know what I'm saying? Kremey Klouds is a pretty solid company. They make 3 signature flavors. Big shocker, all donut inspired. Now, there are a lot of donut flavored vapes out on the market, and I think it's really difficult if you're an e-juice manufacturer to come up, unique flavors are one thing. You can make signature flavors and, something that you really, really dig that I think, a good deal of the vaping community is probably going to dig too. But coming out with something that really sets it apart from everybody else is a complete another different aspect. And there's different levels and different subtleties you can kind of play with. And that's kind of something that we're going to be talking about a little bit today with Kremey Klouds. So first of all, we're going to bust open their little itty bitty donut box. And I've got 3 15 milliliter bottles here of their 3 signature flavors. So we're going to go through these one by one, and I'm going to, break them apart a little bit. Flavor wise, okay, we're going to start with the bottle and the labeling. I think that the labeling is pretty damned eye-catching, and I think obviously that's going to be something that you're going to relate to. On a marketing perspective, this is something that can be very, very helpful for a company to come out with something that is either really well known or that is going to be really well known. And it really is a toss of the coin sometimes because if you're not familiar with the industry as much as, maybe these guys are, or if you're just kind of getting into something, or you're going to rebrand for that matter. A brand new company that's coming out with a brand new e-juice has got to basically bank on a couple things: customer service, quality of the ingredients, and some type of innovative flavor process that is either going to be totally new or a brand new aspect of something that's been out for a while. Kremey Klouds has, they're basically playing with the rules. So they've come out with an eye-catching, eye-fetching, if you will, labeling system. I love the white painted bottles. I love the white tops. This flavor here is blueberry glazed donut. Now, anything blueberry for me is a pretty solid hit. I'm not typically big on the solid fruit flavors alone, but I'm a big-time dessert vapor, as you guys know. Blueberry glazed donuts, there's quite a few flavors out on the market like that. And the reason I really love the Kremey Klouds version of their blueberry glazed is because it is not massively stark heavy on the blueberry. The blueberry is pretty true to profile too, which I dug. Sometimes you can taste something that is blueberry flavored or inspired, and it is just massive blueberries with just a little bit of sugar sprinkled over the top. Hey, there's flavor profiles that attach to everybody's individual taste buds, and that's fine. I taste tons of them, hundreds of them, but finding one that really tickles my taste buds and makes me want to continue vaping and not, like a third of the way through the day, I'm just trying to wash out my, my tank or something like that. to try and get in a new flavor. I want to try something. I want to put something in my tank, feel comfortable vaping it throughout the entire rest of the day, and just really enjoy what I'm doing. And this one is one of those. It's a really, really light blueberry. Now the glaze is pretty light too. It's fairly subtle, so it's not overly sweet, with just a very small hint of a buttery texture just on the back end. All three of the notes, the glaze, the blueberry, and the butter, still feel like they sort of have subtle levels. You can taste each one indiscriminately from another, but it's a pretty good little tertiary mix in my opinion. The first thing that I hit on the inhale was the blueberries, and then it just kind of swirled around on my tongue. You get a little bit of that glaze and the creamy kind of a buttery texture on the exhale. So it's a very fun vape, very light vape, very refreshing as far as dessert vapes are concerned. So let's move on to the strawberry cream filled. And this one was pretty solid. The one thing I liked about this one is that it wasn't, again, really heavy on the strawberry. The strawberry tasted, now I used to be in culinary a lot, I went through culinary school and all that. And I remember back in the day, we used to make these big confections, and if they were jelly filled of any type or another, flaky confections or something like that, we used to get them in these giant tubs of pre-made strawberry filling or blueberry filling or apple filling or something like that, with all like the ooey gooiness and stuff like that. The strawberry flavor kind of reminded me of that. Natural tasting, but also kind of a candy-ish to it, just slightly. But the cream filled was really tasty. And, I find it kind of difficult sometimes to contrast between a sugary taste and a cream-filled taste because creaminess sometimes does have a bit of a sweet sugariness to it, but a glaze is basically just kind of a different flavor category. You can sweeten up a cream if you want, with a little bit of sugar, but speaking from a culinary perspective, glaze is definitely not the same thing as the sweetness you experience in a good cream. So the three of those together, I think the cream works really good with the glaze. The strawberry was sweet, a little bit natural, but more just kind of like a confectionery type of a filling mixture. So technically it was pretty true to profile. All three of those flavors working together. A little bit more of a binary vape in my opinion. You can't necessarily discriminate between the cream and the glaze as well, because I think they really work well together as a mix. But the strawberry still comes on the inhale, and the glaze and the creaminess comes on the exhale. But it's a very, very tasty vape. Overall, I think you guys are going to dig that too, especially if you're a donut lover like I am. And last but not least is the original glazed donut. And there is pretty much no difference between this, in my opinion, to this that I've been munching on this morning. The only difference is obviously the fat, the sugar, the calories, and the sugar crash at the end of munching on one of those bad boys, which I'm inevitably going to end up dealing with. So I'm probably going to have to take a nap later. But and that's what I'm talking about. That's another aspect of so many flavors out on the market of e-juice, is that we get to try so many different things. We wrap our brains around an all-day vape that we know we're really going to dig, that we can tell our friends about, and we can share with the other community. And of course, it's a little bit of a healthier alternative. And in this case, bit of a healthier alternative from the actual thing. We're not going to be overloading with sugar and fat and all that good stuff. Luckily, I get to play with props I actually get to eat, you know what I'm saying? So one of the bonuses of being moi. But overall, I would say that Kremey Klouds has a very, very good line. The regular glazed donut one is very, very tasty. It's just straight up kind of a cakiness to it, very creamy, as far as just an even mild blend of glaze with just kind of that subtlety of the cakiness. I guess maybe creamy isn't the right word to use, but just a straight up plain buttery flavor to it on the back end. The glaze really hits you on the inhale, and everything else just kind of takes care of it on the exhale. So everything is predominantly true to nature and the profile. I think it's a really, really good tasting brand, and definitely recommend this for you guys out there that like the dessert vapors. You can definitely check these guys out on Instagram. Go on to Kremey Klouds, and that is spelled Kremey, as you can see here, and I'll definitely put a little thing you do up on the top that you can use to kind of reference back to that. And if you want to purchase some of this stuff, it's actually fairly decently priced, but they don't have an individual website set up yet. It's actually being sold through International Vapes Illustrated and you can see their web address on the bottom there. But if you go on to Instagram and you go to Kremey Klouds on Instagram, they will have a link on the top of their bio that you'll be able to check that out and buy whatever size bottles that you want. I really think you guys are going to dig this because it really doesn't get into too many frills. And, you know, just straight up donut flavors, but good quality donut flavors that aren't so darn particularly heavy that you're just dying to vape for it, you know, the force vape, just so you can go to something else that's a little bit more of a palate cleanser. Kremey Klouds is light enough and it's mellow enough while still staying true to profile and just giving you something really pleasant and enjoyable to vape. So definitely recommend that. Kremey Klouds, thank you so much for supporting Joe of All Vapes, and really appreciate all you guys out in the vaping community watching this review. So if you dug it, you like what you see, and you want to see more, I've got some exciting things going up, more box mods coming up for review, big time stuff coming up. Working with Zample Box together, as I don't know if any of you guys have seen my hangout session with Ian Ferguson of Ian and Chris Unboxing over at Zample Box. Check that out in the video section. It was a really fun ride that we had, and we plan on doing some more stuff like that. Of course, I've got some more giveaways coming up. Next month is going to be May of 2016. I think I'm going to have something like 3 giveaways going on then, but exclusive discount codes are always going to be submitted here on the videos on YouTube, and that's, you know, only going to be available if you watch the videos, guys. You know what I'm saying? I really love doing this kind of stuff and giving back to the community. Raising advocacy is something that we really need to do, and make sure that you know, we're signing those petitions. We're paying attention to what's going on out there, because there are more federal bureaucrats and dum-dums that are just trying to bust apart the, you know, the lifestyle and the gig that we love doing here, man. I mean, there's not going to be any more conventions. There won't be any more vaping, period, if they have it their way. You know what I'm saying? So sign those petitions. Make sure you guys pay attention to what's going on out there. Raise advocacy, because vaping is the healthiest alternative to smoking. And there are so many people out there that need to get off of those sticks. You know what I'm saying? They didn't call them cancer sticks for nothing. And I was prone to smoking for quite some time, quite a few years of my life. And literally, my family, my faith, and vaping saved my life, guys. You know, that on top of the fitness, which I encourage to. But that's on another video. So I want to say thank you guys all for supporting Joe of All Vapes. Stay tuned for the rest of exciting awesomeness. Check me out on Instagram, Joe of All Vapes _2, for some of that awesomeness. Love yourselves, love each other. Go out and enjoy some of this wonderful springtime weather wherever you may be. And of course, you keep it cloudy.